that right? Hello, my name is Alan, or apehodet, and this is my secondary channel named the apehodet. I like to call it my crap account. But anyway, right now I'm gonna do something a little bit different from most things I've done before. I'm going to read something to you that was written by a friend of mine a year or two ago. And as a matter of fact, it is posted on this wall. This was his answer to a test, and the teacher said that this answer was a disgrace to the subject of history. And still he somehow got the grade 3- out of 6. Which is the Norwegian grade system. I'll translate this as I read it. The Cold War. The East consisted of the Soviet Union, Russia, Hungary, Serbia, and probably a lot more. The West consisted of countries like the US, Norway, France, England, Spain, Italy, and probably a lot more there too. In the East, communism ruled, which means that people should have the same amount of things, and that the trade shall be ruled by the state. Food and clothing and similar stuff should be rationated, or whatever you call it. They also had a dictator to rule the country, and he was often a badass motherfucker, and he killed everyone who he suspected would eventually stab him in the back. One of the communist rulers of the East was Joseph Stalin, who died in 1953. In the West there was capitalism, which meant that people have to get by themselves. The more you work, the more you make. The trade is ruled by demand, and there's a greater difference between rich and poor. Americans have always been capitalists, and if you ask them what the worst possible scenario of the world would be, they're guaranteed to answer that it would be a reincarnation of the communism, which is a thing that Norway is in fact the only country in the world that is keeping alive. One of the reasons for the war was that the Russians were stuck-up motherfuckers who at all costs had to have the incredibly stupid communist stuff, which we all know is a great thought and idea, but we also know that it does not work practically. And because Russia was so fucking big and had decided that they needed a strange, badly functioning rulership, the US went apeshit, dramatic as the Americans are, and of course needed to stop the whole shit. Because of course, if you're gonna change anything in the world, you have to ask the US first. Despite all, they have 3 fat, huge letters in their name, and that says a lot. Now, the third part of this essay-ish thingy needs a bit of an explanation. Because there is a Norwegian children's song that goes, "Ba, ba, little sheep, do you have any wool?" This is not an answer to any kind of question in the test. He just wrote it. "Ba, ba, little sheep, do you have any wool?" Of course, it's a fucking sheep, and sheep do have wool. Also, when you're standing there talking to the fucking sheep, you should fucking know whether or not it has fucking wool. Fuck. Children are stupid. Just like those stupid people on Facebook who ask whether or not they know you when you've added them as a friend. If they know you, then they should know. And if they don't know you, what the fuck kind of difference does that make? Should they not accept the invitation then, just because you haven't been ultra close friends for 10 years?